Chapter 14. It was quite true that Olin had been walking about the yard when Myonka had entered the gate, and had heard her say, "That devil, our lodger, is walking about." He had spent that evening with Daddy Eroshka in the porch of his new lodging. He had a table, a samovar, wine, and a candle brought out, and over a cup of tea and a cigar he listened to the tales the old man told, seated on the threshold at his feet. Though the air was still, the candle dripped and flickered, now lighting up the post of the porch, now the table and the crockery, now the cropped white head of the old man. Moths circled round the flame, and shedding the dust of their wings, fluttered on the table and in the glasses, flew into the candle flame, and disappeared into the black space beyond. Olin and Eroshka had emptied 5 bottles of Shakir. Eroshka filled the glasses every time, offering one to Olin, drinking his health, and talking untiringly. He told of Cossack life in the old days, of his father, the Broad, who alone had carried on his back a boar's carcass weighing 300 weight, and drank 2 pails of Shakir in one sitting. He told of his own days and his chum Gertrude, with whom during the plague he used to smuggle folk cloaks across the Terek. He told how one morning he had killed 2 deer, and about his little soul who used to run to him at the cordon at night. He told all of this so eloquently and picturesquely that Olin did not notice how the time had passed. "Ah, yes, my dear fellow, you did not know me in my golden days. Then I'd have shown you things. Today, it's Eroshka licks the jug, but then Eroshka was famous in the whole regiment. Whose was the finest horse? Who had a Gerda sword? To whom should one go to get a drink? With whom go on the spree? Who should be sent to the mountains to kill Ahmed Khan? Why, always Eroshka. Whom did the girls love? Always Eroshka had to answer for it, because I was a real brave, a real drinker, a thief. I used to seize herds of horses in the mountains. A singer. I was the master of every art. There are no Cossacks like that nowadays. It is disgusting to look at them. When they're that high." Eroshka held his hand 3 feet from the ground. "They put on idiotic boots and keep looking at them. That's all the pleasure they know. Or they'll drink themselves foolish, not like men, but all wrong. And who was I? I was Eroshka, the thief. They knew me not only in this village, but up in the mountains. Tartar princesses, my kunkas, used to come to see me. I used to be everybody's kunka. If he was a Tartar with a Tartar, an Armenian with an Armenian, a soldier with a soldier, an officer with an officer, I didn't care as long as he was a drinker. He says you should cleanse yourself from intercourse with the world, not drink with soldiers, not eat with a Tartar." "Who says all that?" asked Olin. "Why, our teacher. But listen to a mullah or a Tartar Kardi, he says. But you unbelieving Jawers, why do you eat pig? That shows that everyone has his own law, but I think it's all one. God has made everything for the joy of man. There is no sin in any of it. Take example from an animal. It lives in the Tartar's reeds or in ours. Wherever it happens to go, there is its home. Whatever God gives it, that it eats. But our people say we have to lick red-hot plates in hell for that. And I think it's all a fraud, he added, after a pause. What is a fraud? Asked Olin. Why, what the preachers say. We had an army captain in Cervella, who was my kunka, a fine fellow just like me. He was killed in Chechnya. Well, he used to say that the preachers invent all that out of their own heads. When you die, the grass will grow on your grave, and that is all. The old man laughed. He was a desperate fellow. And how old are you? Asked Olin. The Lord only knows. I must be about 70. When a Tsarsa reigned in Russia, I was no longer very small. So you can reckon it out. I must be 70. Yes, you must. But you are still a fine fellow. Well, thank heaven I am still healthy. Quite healthy. Except that a woman, a witch, has harmed me. How? Oh, just harmed me. And so when you die, the grass will grow, repeated Olin. Eroshka evidently did not wish to express his thoughts clearly. He was silent for a while. And what did you think? Drink, he shouted suddenly, smiling and handing Olin some wine.